Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you're listening to. Let's get right through that. You're listening to Touching Tips with your host, Mr. Les J. Zamalek III. That is me. Today we are drinking Long Branch, not to be confused with Snoop Dogg's town of Long Beach. It is a higher end wild turkey. I'm a big wild turkey fan myself. It's one of my favorite bourbons. And speaking of favorites, today you're in for a treat. I'm going to give you my favorite bars in and about town of the old New Orleans. Did it say wild turkey on it too? That wasn't planned. I do a lot of pointing. First on the list, and probably overall number one, but these things change, is Bouligny Tavern. It's next to Lillet. It was originally their overflow kind of waiting area, and now it's kind of a thing of their own. It's a great cocktail bar. They can basically make you anything that you can think of, really. Paper planes, that sort of stuff. Paper plane is a really good cocktail. One of my personal favorites, Bouligny, or Bouligny. I don't know actually how to pronounce it. It's sad. It's French, and I've never heard anybody inside of the place pronounce it, and I've just read it. So Bouligny is what I'm going with. It's at 3641 Magazine Street if you're in town and want to check that out. Number two on the list, moving further down Magazine Street to 4336 Magazine Street, I wrote this stuff down, is Miss May's. And Miss May's is a cash-only bar, but it is ridiculously cheap. They've got like $4 or $5 calls, and their well, like either their calls are $5 and their wells are $4. It's something ridiculously cheap, especially, in this day and age where everything keeps fucking skyrocketing in price. Afternoon delight. Next is the Lafitte Blacksmith Shop bar. Don't let it fool you. It's a bar. Oldest bar in New Orleans, kind of. It's convoluted. I did used to work for the people who own Lafitte, so cheers to those guys. That is at 941 Bourbon Street, and I would suggest going there at night, because it's lit by candlelight, and it's kind of like stepping back in time. It's really night. Really night? Yeah, it's really night. It's really neat to see it at night if you're going. Next on the list is Latitude 29. That is a tiki bar by tiki historian Beach Bum Berry. Great cocktails there, just like Bouligny Tavern. But theirs are on the tiki tip, so it's a little bit different but they make a killer zombie. I'll give them that. Latitude 29, and they come up with their own drinks as well, much like Bouligny does. Last on the list is Harry's Corner, and that's going to be at 900 Charter Street, and that may be cash only. I am not sure. That it's kind of a boomer bar. I get my stuff to go. And when I say it's kind of a boomer bar, there's like drunk boomers singing songs that aren't on, There's always some type of boomer shenanigans every time I go in there. So, that's fun. Miss May's is kind of, even though it's not punk rock, it's kind of punk rock. I think Bouligny is a little more upscale. Really is Latitude 29, but it's like Latitude 29 is more like upscale Hawaiian shirt wear. So I don't know how to explain that. But Harry's is a dive bar. Miss May's is a dive bar. Lafitte's is a dive bar. Fancier end, I guess, but still a dive bar. Definitely, tourists and locals both drink there. Most of those other places are that I've listed are more local bars. I don't really go to a lot of touristy bars. Lafitte's is probably the most touristy bar that I go to, and I don't go there that often. But it's still, still one of my favorite bars. Was originally my favorite bar before I moved here. So yeah, it's never gonna leave the list. Do I have one weird rogue shiny hair? One shiny mustache, yeah. That song, kids, is gonna wrap this fucking show up. So, yep, those are my favorite bars in and about. It's not about, it's on the end. In New Orleans, and it's mainly just the Quarter and Uptown, too. That's kind of my haunts. There's some places that I hit along the way, but they're not my favorites. These are my favorites. Do with them what you will. Ignore them, floss with them, rinse and repeat. Cheers, kids.